Welcome everyone to 284 News. My name is Javon Wilson.
I'm Kamal Haynes.
And I'm Ron Grant.
And we are so thrilled and happy to be coming to you live out of the beautiful British Virgin Islands. The content continues via our website, 284media.com. In today's news, illegal immigrants lead police on a chase in East End.
BVI educators engage in Summer Institute ahead of the opening of schools.
We also see the BVI Rotary Family mobilizing to raise funds for Haiti following the catastrophic earthquake.
A beautiful donation from CTL Home Center and Tropical Air Conditioning donate a 25-ton AC unit towards the BVI Health Services Authority.
And we also see Mr. Rico Garcia. He's actually live with us in studio of REMAX BVI, of course, sharing insight to young professionals in his new book, and he's joining us live. We have all the details of these stories when 284 News returns.
You value traditions. You value music. You value education. Family.
I love you.
Service.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Love. Life. At Popular, we're committed to you and everything our community values. For the things you value the most, count on us. Popular.
Welcome everybody. It's Wednesday, August 25th, 2021. We're coming to you live and direct from the beautiful British Virgin Islands, of course, our home, our paradise. I'm Ron Grant.
And my name is Javon Wilson, here, of course, with your daily dose of 284 News, that is local, regional, as well as international content. Now, we begin today's newscast with some headlines. Now, viewers, reports reaching our newsroom earlier today revealed that a few illegal immigrants of Haitian descent led members of the Royal Virgin Islands Police Force on a chase in the East End area. Now, based on what we've heard so far, a few of those persons have been apprehended while others supposedly escaped. More information, of course, will be provided as official updates are provided. And today, more updates from the COI team on how things will progress once the process resumes. A press update sent out today by Secretary Stephen Chandler stated, and I quote, "Following the directions hearing on July 13, 2021, at which the applicability of the rules of procedural fairness to the work of the COI was considered, the resumed hearings will be used in part to afford public officials the opportunity to respond to potential criticisms arising from evidence received by the COI. However, in order to protect the interests of all who might be concerned, and of course to safeguard their rights to confidentiality, neither details of potential criticisms nor the identification of those at whom they may be directed will be publicized in advance of the hearings. Subject to COVID-19 restrictions allowing, witnesses will be expected to attend hearings in person. COVID-19 safety measures will continue to be implemented at the COI's offices and hearings in the room in the International Arbitration Center in Rotang, and of course remain under constant review." So, Ron, lots to look forward to as the COI continues.
And of course, when we look closely at our government relation issues, we see where the opposition, Her Majesty's loyal opposition, and of course the government of the Virgin Islands continues to be in a back and forth. The Honorable Premier is saying that things could have been avoided and that they are on their hands, he tells the opposition. He also says they are deceiving constituents and toying with his life. A full opposition absence at a recent House of Assembly sitting, and the leader of the opposition says government and the Premier were 2 hours late, which is unacceptable. Jovan, we're dealing with some very tough times. We have a lot going on in our country, and our leaders don't cease to amaze us.
Yes, absolutely. We're going to head straight into our newscast for today. Now, the BVI Rotary family has once again come together in organizing relief and recovery assistance, this time to the persons impacted by the devastating 7.2 magnitude earthquake that struck Haiti. As an initial response, the BVI Rotary Clubs has a local bank account to support this initiative. Experts both in Haiti and in support of this initiative, in response to disaster, reported that the cash is most effective and the most efficient way to aid those who are in need immediately. Now, the press release sent to our newsroom by the Rotary family stated, and I quote, "Understandably, those in Haiti need our help, and as such, we are asking for the public to open their hearts once again and assist in this secure way. Please donate if you can." Now, viewers, if you're interested in giving back via the Rotary Family, there are a few options. There's, first of all, a wire transfer via Republic Bank, and as you can see, all those additional details on the screen. Of course, there's also the intermediary bank officials, bank details for the Bank of America, and checks are also payable to the Rotary Club of Tortola. Now, viewers, on August 14th, a major 7.2 magnitude earthquake struck the southern parts of Haiti near the port city of Les Keys on the southern coast, damaging critical infrastructure with reports of over 10,000 injured and over 2,000 deaths, and others are reportedly still missing. Haiti has experienced numerous disastrous events from annual impacts of hurricanes and other storms, including Hurricane Matthew in 2016 and most recently Hurricane Elsa earlier this year, the devastating 2010 earthquake, as well as the current COVID-19 pandemic and political and economic instability. Now, you may be wondering, why donate with Rotary? And this question, when posed to the Rotary family, this is what they had to say. I quote, "As one of the leading and most transparent service organizations globally, Rotary has organized numerous disaster relief efforts for many countries throughout the Caribbean, thanks to the kind donations from the citizens of the British Virgin Islands. Rotary also has a deep network of Rotarians and clubs on the ground in Haiti to lead humanitarian efforts together with a Caribbean Disaster Relief and Recovery Committee, which was initially set up after the 2010 earthquake." They also said, and I quote, "Rotary is a trusted organization that has established the links between communities, and Rotarians in Haiti are working in coordination with local community leaders to determine how best the money should be spent." They continued. "Now, with your generous support, of course, Rotary will be able to help we'll be able to help Haiti to recover from this disaster. All monies raised will be donated direct to Haiti. That is 100% of proceeds." Now, following the 2010 earthquake disaster, much of the money raised by the Rotary family was geared towards rebuilding schools. Funds raised specifically from the BVI funds definitely funded the rebuilding of the Evangelical Baptist School of Simon Keys. Thankfully, this school survived the earthquakes and is now available to act as a shelter or temporary field hospital. Now, Rob, we do continue to see the BVI Rotary family mobilizing, of course, to assist persons across the region, especially in times of crisis. Yeah. And we're really hoping for persons who are interested that they can contact the Rotary family here on the ground to make those donations at 440-4460.
Indeed. Continue on, viewers, on the local scene. In a very generous response to an observed need, CTL Home Center, through its subsidiary company Tropical Air Conditioning and CTL Cares, presented a 25-ton air conditioning unit to the British Virgin Islands Health Services Authority. This unit will be installed at the COVID-19 testing tent at the Dr. D. Orlando Smith Hospital. During the handover ceremony, Managing Director of CTL, Mr. Michael Thomas, said that initially he thought of inviting other businesses to join in the initiative, but figured that too much time would elapse organizing such a feat. Therefore, he said a decision was made to move forward with CTL and Tropical Air Conditioning. It was noted that the two companies considered various air conditioning options and models before deciding on the 25-ton unit. Now, in making the presentation, Mr. Thomas said, and I quote, "It is indeed my pleasure to be able to present this unit, to turn this unit over to the Health Services Authority. I appreciate the work that you guys have been doing. I know you're working under some very strenuous conditions, and whatever we can do as an organization, because we do believe in giving back." Manager of Tropical Air Conditioning, Mr. Ariel Smith, noted that his company was seeking a way to help the BVI community during the COVID-19 pandemic and was extremely happy when Mr. Thomas reached out to him. Mr. Smith, a BVI lander, said, and I quote, "Tropical Air Conditioning is pleased, and we are happy that we could be a part of this initiative with CTL. We stand committed to whatever we can do and can be done from our standpoint to assist the BVI Health Services Authority in trying to curb and manage this pandemic." He further stated that the donation of the unit took 2 weeks to arrive, and this will serve the space adequately. Now, the donation, viewers, was accepted by Minister for Health and Social Development, the Honorable Carvin Malone, who said, and I quote, I'm especially pleased with the level of corporate contribution that CTL has continued. We have had a number of contributions made to this particular institution. We have had contributions made by CTL before and will continue to do this. But this is timely. This is critical. This is important for us as we move this forward. While thanking the partner company, Honorable Malone said, and I quote, "Tropical air condition has been a fixture in this community. They have worked to ensure that they are the best in what they do, and when you look at what is offered today, my heart is overjoyed." Meanwhile, Acting Chief Executive Officer, that is, of the BVI Health Services Authority, Mrs. Cordine Malone-Smith, in her response, said that this is an excellent example of public-private partnership. Mr. Thomas saw a need, she said, and responded to it. The BVI Health Services Authority is grateful, especially because we cannot do this alone. Jovan, quite a beautiful donation from CTL and, of course, Tropical Air Conditioning. The BVI Health Services Authority continues to do remarkable work, and I know that this air conditioning unit will serve them in the greatest capacity. And we thank once again both organizations for their corporate sponsorship, which we continue to support here on 284 Media.
Yes, corporate social responsibility at its best.
Indeed.
At such a very critical time. Now, viewers, still ahead of the break, educators engage in a summer institute, and Virgin Islands public libraries, are now to be automated very soon. All this and so much more right after this commercial break.
Viewers, welcome back. Thanks so much for sticking with us. Continuing on, it is back to school here in the territory of the Virgin Islands. Educators across the territory are engaging in a week of training from August 24th to August 26th before the opening of schools on Monday, September 6th. Now, the one-week institute began on Professional Day by a virtual opening ceremony on Facebook via the Government of the Virgin Islands and, of course, local radio programming. Chief Education Officer Mrs. Connie George said the Summer Institute 2021 will be held under the overarching theme of educating all in changing times. Every learner succeeds, which has been in place for education since the beginning of the pandemic. Now, Mrs. George continued by saying, in keeping with the OECS strategy indicator 3.5.3, which focuses on improving the quality of teaching and learning at all levels using learner-centered experiences, it is imperative that teachers find ways to connect with their students to optimize the teaching learning processes. She added, this year's institute will focus on two things: personal development and collaboration and integration. Now, the week will include, of course, orientation for new teachers on Friday, August 27th. The theme for the 2021-2022 academic school year is educating all in changing times. Every learner succeeds.
Our viewers, as we move on, Chief Librarian Ms. Suzanne Greenaway has said that the Public Library Service of the Virgin Islands is moving towards automating the Anegada and Virgin Gorda community libraries. Ms. Greenaway said that the automation process at the Eastern Library is almost complete, with the final phase being the provision of a new card to customers. She said, and I quote, "The library is working on a website that will provide information to the public and access to the electronic databases when completed," end of quote. Now, the systems librarian, Ari Lessam, explained that libraries that are not fully automated, including Anegada and Virgin Gorda, will continue using the old card system, while members of the Eastern Library will be issued a new plastic card identification made possible through a donation of a card printer from the Guana Fund. Now, the public can access the library service by becoming a member. A person must be above the age of 5 years old to register for a library card, and juniors ages 5 to 14 can borrow up to 2 items at a time, while adults can borrow up to 4 items at once. Now, Chief Librarian Mrs. Greenaway further stated that a library registration drive will begin at the Eastern Longlook and also in Anegada, those libraries, from September 1st to December 31st. The objective, she explained, is to update the memberships and, of course, to attract new members. It will also recognize International Literacy Day on September 8th. Mrs. Greenaway said, and I quote, "Existing members of the public library can obtain a new card by simply visiting this library and providing a government ID and updating their existing information by completing the registration form. Alternately, members of the public can go to the library's Facebook page, complete the form, attach a government-issued identification and a digital copy of a passport-sized photo on a white background, and of course, email all back to the library." End of quote. Now, viewers, the public library will also be hosting an amnesty at the Eastern, Longlook, Anegada, and Virgin Gorda community libraries. The purpose of the amnesty is to clear names and records. Persons who owe fines or have overdue books can contact the library services from September 1 through December 31st. Of course, persons are also asked to email the titles of those books they may have borrowed as well to library services at gov.vg, or you can call the number 468-9750. That is the Eastern Library. And for Virgin Gorda, you can call 468-9971. Also, Anegada, 468-4991. Now, the Public Library Service of the Virgin Islands will continue to provide globally competitive information through technology and various formats to meet the educational, historical, recreational, and cultural needs of the general public here in the beautiful British Virgin Islands. Ron, I think one of the things that really came with this pandemic, and I think a positive we can call it, is us transitioning to doing stuff online. And I think as we move forward, as we pivot our way forward, it's important that we have easier access and in a format that allows for persons to be socially distant. And I think a virtual format is the way to go.
I agree. Now, viewers, still ahead, we are joined by the one and only Rico Garcia. He is an author, a new author that is, and we're talking all things Start Where You Are. We are discussing his take on leading the way and being one of the territory's leading professionals. All this and so much more after a word from our sponsors. You're watching 284 News.
The wait is over. CCT Fire is here. Experience ultra-fast downloads, seamless streaming, and even more reliable connectivity on an all-new fire-blazing super-fast CCT Fiber network. CCT Fire. Bring it home and upgrade today.
Brilliant Hands and Minds Tutoring Services, one-on-one tutorials in math and English, intense homework assistance, academic enrichment, school projects, effective communication and public speaking development, sign language for adults and children on Saturdays only. Registered with the Virgin Islands High School Certificate Program, Brilliant Hands and Minds can help you too. Offering intense curriculum-based training to help you or your loved ones get their high school diploma. It's time to make your family's education a #1 priority. Hurry, space is limited. Brilliant Hands and Minds Learning Center. We are the trained education professionals. Viewers, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. As promised, we are joined by Mr. Rico Garcia. Now, in a recent LinkedIn post, Rico said, and I quote, "Start Where You Are was written to help the current generation of achievers figure out exactly where to start from. It helps to bring understanding that you might be trying to make someone else's journey your journey and not your own. I am currently reading 30 to 40 books per year, and in the book I share insights from many successful individuals that I've learned from. I also share a little about my personal journey and highlighted mistakes that I've made that changed the course of my life forever. If I only started where I was." It's a short book, under 100 pages. Give it a try. Rico, thank you so much for your time. Welcome to 284 News.
Thanks, Ron. Thanks for having me.
Now, you mentioned some very really interesting points. Of course, you're leaning and gleaming off of some of the persons who have contributed to your success through reading. You're an avid reader, but you're also sharing with the young professionals of not only the territory, but regional young leaders and international as well, where to start from. Tell us exactly why you decided to write this book.
Well, Start Where You Are was a constant reminder to myself. I think it was last year, October. For some reason, I kept hearing in my head, start where you are, start where you are. And maybe I was going too fast, maybe I was on the wrong track. But internally, that was my reminder that I should start my journey where I am. So I decided that it has helped me a lot, so I should share this with others. Start Where You Are is a book about understanding your own race and your own journey. Especially today in a social media era where success seems to be painted everywhere, we tend to get ahead of ourselves as people. And I believe everyone has a different starting point. We all have different environments. We all have different levels of education. We can't all start at the same place. Wonderful. So I'm hopeful that Start Where You Are helps people to do just that.
Now, how long has the book been in the making, Rico?
I started writing the book in December. It's a very short book. It's 67 pages.
Okay.
And I finished January. I did this book on my phone, technology, on the couch. Every morning I got up at 5 o'clock and I wrote the book for 30 minutes and that was it. And it's been through design and obviously editing and all this other stuff. So now it's been published just maybe 3 weeks ago.
Wonderful. Well, first of all, let me be one of the persons to congratulate you. Viewers, of course, I have my very own copy, compliments of Mr. Garcia right here. And Rico, I must commend you on sharing your journey. A lot of young persons, a lot of persons in general who have achieved some level of success don't always share their mistakes as much as they share their successes. What are some of the mistakes, without telling us a little bit too much about what's in the book, what are some of the mistakes that you have perhaps come across on your journey that you've not allowed to stop you?
Well, this is actually my favorite mistake. I think about this all the time. I played baseball growing up, and I was one of the top players in the BVI.
Of course, we remember.
Yeah, and I was one of the top players in the Caribbean. And I went to the States, to college, to a very competitive school. And I looked like them, I talked like them. In practice, I was them. I'm talking about my teammates. And I failed to realize exactly where I was. In the BVI, we played about 4 to 7 live games a year. And in the States, being in high school and in college, they play about 100 games a year. So obviously the experience that we have, it differs quite a bit. But because you're in the group, you're in the environment, you somehow think that you're in the same place that they are. And the things I needed to work on, I didn't work on. And that cost me my chance of maybe playing professional baseball. I had offers from professional teams, and I said no to the offers because I thought I was somewhere else. I was playing with teammates that got offered, maybe 500 grand to go play professional baseball. My offer was, I think, maybe $50,000. And I'm like, well, they're being offered 500 grand, I'm being offered 50 grand, why can't I get more? So I started to negotiate with the scout, and they walked away. And who knows?
So essentially, you didn't start where you were.
Exactly.
Am I getting that? Okay,
I
wonderful.
should have started at $50,000.
Wow, wow. Thank you so much for that very honest example of mistakes. But I also want to speak about successes. You are one of the leading real estate professionals in the territory of the Virgin Islands. You have made leaps and bounds. As much as we make mistakes, you have made successes. Tell us about some of those successes and how you've gotten to the place that you are right now.
I'm a learner. I think what we're supposed to do as people, we're supposed to grow. And we're supposed to grow and pass it on, obviously. I enjoy sharing what I've learned from others. I believe if you are not sharing with others, then you do not have a mindset of abundance because you believe whatever you know now is all you're ever going to know. But I think once you learn, you pass it on, you keep going. As you noted, I read about 40 books per year. And I think that's key to where I've been so far. I don't consider myself successful, but I think I am on track and I'm making traction when it comes to success.
All right. One of the things that you said on LinkedIn as well is that in the book you've really taken some advice from some persons who have, in your opinion, contributed significantly to your well-being. Who are some of the persons that you lean from inspiration in Start Where You Are?
Well, I can even start people locally.
Great.
I've learned from a man named Kenneth Hodge. I've learned from a man named Colonel Foy. In college, one of my mentors, his name was Thomas Mills. He helped me a lot. He gave me my first personal development book. Obviously, my mom and my dad, and my uncles and aunts. I don't think I would be where I am today without my uncles and aunts. So I hope they know that for sure. I've watched all of them help to raise, healthy nephews and nieces, and
Beautiful.
they've really helped me to start where I am. Internationally, you have guys like Dave Ramsey, there's Darren Hardy, there's Grant Cardone, there's Patrick McDavid. I learn from anyone that's further ahead than I am, that's for sure.
Wonderful. Now, Rico, where can persons purchase your book and what is the cost?
The book is only $12 hard copy and $9 on Kindle. So you can buy the book from bookbaby.com, hard copy or soft copy, electronic copy. You can buy it on Amazon, of course. And locally, you can actually buy that Miss Klein's bookstore that just opened up at Save the Seed.
Yes.
Check her out. It is on the shelf. You can get your book there.
Wonderful. Again, we want to congratulate you here at 284 Media in really penning your contributions and your observations as you've progressed. Before you leave, Rico, I must ask you this. To our up and coming young professionals, what piece of advice, single piece of advice, would you give to them?
Always stay learning. I'll give you a little secret that you feel in your gut. If someone is giving you advice and it starts to irritate you, this is in the book, it starts to irritate you because you think you already know, check yourself. That could be pride, and you could be shutting yourself up from learning, the most valuable advice for your next step.
That is a great piece of advice, and I want to thank you once more for stopping by. Viewers, make sure you get your copy of Start Where You Are. New author in the British Virgin Islands, the young and talented Rico Garcia. Of course, we know him from Remax BVI, but he is branching off and really sharing some insight into his journey and what he's learned, and I think he should be congratulated, really, for sharing the very vulnerable experiences that he has learned throughout this experience. We're going to be right back after a word from our sponsors.
Is business slow, cash flow down, hosting an upcoming event? We can help. Advertise with 284 Media and take your business or event to the next level by enhancing your present marketing and messaging strategies. Allow our team of experts to create a personalized ad that sets your business apart from all the rest. This could be your business or event. So, what are you waiting for? Contact our marketing team at 284media@cctbvi.com. Advertising with us works.
Viewers, welcome back to 284 News. Ron, such an insightful interview, of course. Many persons, when they attain a certain level of success, and Mr. Garcia is saying, I'm not successful just as yet, but he is. He is definitely a success. And one of the things I like to reflect on, even for me, who, I'm not necessarily an avid reader, I try my best, but one of the things I do reflect on is that when you look at successful people, their number one habit is reading.
Yes.
And so we really have to read more, and I'm really happy to hear him say, be open to learning, be a sponge, be aware of your environment, but of course be open to the learning process, and that's how we grow forward. Now, viewers, as we move on, the Royal Virgin Islands Police Force added 3 new female officers to the force, Lady Hope and Blessing. Now, Commissioner of Police, Mr. Mark Collins, and the officers of the K-9 unit collected the newest recruits from the BVI Humane Society on Friday, specially chosen to assist officers as part of a force initiative to expand the unit. Now, Royal Virgin Islands Police Force Constable Zamfir Adams, who is an experienced dog handler, will begin the process of training the 3 dogs for duty. Lady, who has been at the shelter for the last 5 months, is 1.5-year-old. She is a 1.5-year-old mixed breed. She is full of energy, smart, and has a hunting drive. Lady was given up by a couple who was forced to leave the island due to COVID. There's also Hope, who is a 2-year-old black Belgian Shepherd mixed, who was found in the bushes in the Hope Hill area, and she was very severely malnourished. And of course, finally, Blessing. Blessing is 1.5-year-old. She's a German Shepherd whose owner changed residence and could not have a pet. Now, viewers, all 3 of these will be joining the other canine dogs already part of the unit at the Royal Virgin Islands Police Force. Good news.
Beautiful
of course,
story.
Ron.
Love it.
And of course, viewers, that's all the content we have for today, but do continue to follow us via our website. That is 284media.com. So much that we couldn't cover today is actually on our website. We're also on Facebook at 284media and Instagram at 284BVI. My name is Javon Wilson.
And I'm Ron Grant. Have a happy Wednesday, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.